orange specifically, but a salmon pink is also right up my alley. So I really love the color of this. I love kind of how wonky it is. It's kind of weird looking, right? The way it all splays out. I love the bright green leaves, and then they fade to kind of a darker green. There are several growth points on this. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 for sure. So I am keeping this one in my living room. I have a little shelf unit below a window that I change up the decor for the different seasons, and I have some white and green cacti there now. Euphorbia rather. That looked really great during the winter, but now that it's spring, I'm swapping them out for this one and maybe a couple others because it looks so happy and spring-like. I really like this one. Now this might seem like nothing, and to most people it is. It's a very common plant, but this is a Peperomia scandens variegated. It has the pretty like cream markings on the margins of the leaves. You can see, I hope, there's a tiny little new leaf coming in there. So I got this as just a little cutting as an add-on to a purchase I made of some Hoya, which I will show you right now. So all from the same seller, who's a local woman who sells on Facebook Marketplace, and I swear I must be her most loyal customer. I check Facebook Marketplace very frequently for plants, and every time she posts something, if it's a Hoya, I scoop it up because she has really good fair prices, and often they're just little cuttings, so you can get a rarer plant for a really decent price. So this is a Hoya memoria. There's a hair on it. A Hoya memoria cutting. It's just one leaf, but it is rooted. Hoya memoria. It has this is a younger leaf, so it's kind of hard to tell, but there are some splashes of silver on it. And as the plant grows and matures and gets more light, those splashes will become more pronounced. I keep this plant in what I call my Hoya house, which is an IKEA cabinet converted into a terrarium with lights and fans and humidifiers, and I'll be doing a tour of that find Hoya in my area, so I was really excited to get a cheap little one-note cutting because I'm pretty good at rooting Hoyas, so I'm very hopeful that it'll take and be just fine. I should do a video. I will do a video actually on my propagation boxes, which are all just old takeout containers like this filled with sphagnum. Long story short. And my inspiration for that was Harley G. She's a plant tuber. If you're watching for ASMR, you might not have heard of her. If you're watching for plants, you've almost definitely heard of Harley G. But you could check out her channel and see how she does her propagation boxes, because that's where I took my inspiration from. So I just plucked this from the wall behind me. I have these little cups here hanging on the grid. And I had this in there. This I got at my local nursery. They opened for the spring a couple weeks ago, and I had to go check it out and see what they had. It's mostly outdoors, so I just went with my mask on and strolled the aisles outdoors looking at plants, and it was glorious after being cooped up all winter and literally not going anywhere. I can count on one hand the number of places I've been since COVID began a year ago. And when I say places I've been, I mean like buildings, public buildings, or even anyone else's house. So anyway, this is a Syngonium. I think it's a Syngonium Maria. I'm not positive. It wasn't labeled. But it has these really beautiful pinkish plum, mauve almost leaves. And I've just now realized it could use a repot. There's some roots growing out the bottom, if you can see that. Oh, look at those leaves. They're just so beautiful. I love Syngoniums, and I haven't had the best luck with them, to be honest. They seem to often get spider mites for me. But I feel like I've learned from my mistakes with them and can keep a closer eye on this one and know what to watch out for, and how to take better care of it. So I'm hoping this one thrives because I just love the color of the leaves. Love it. So also on the wall behind me was this Monstera adansonii. Always looking for pests these days. Looks clean. Okay. So this is a young Monstera adansonii cutting with all of these leaves, all of these holes in the leaves, fenestrations. I used to